Margaret, and I do not have the glam on today because I am at the bins. I am going to do a tips for the Goodwill bins today, and one of the tips I was going to share with you, I'm actually failing on today because I'm wearing open-toed shoes. So don't do what I do. Wear closed-toed shoes because there's all kinds of stuff falling on the floor. I've even seen a rat here. So starting off on a bad foot. Second tip before we even go inside is if you're going to carry in a bag with you, like a purse, ladies or gents, I suggest a backpack or a fanny pack, something you can keep on your body rather than leaving it in the cart. Not saying things go missing. They just do, you know? They just do. Gloves, I just got new ones because mine had been in the car so long the stuff had gotten sticky, which was gross. So some kind of glove. I got these in the hardware store section. They're like the puncture proof, and I didn't get the super heavy duty puncture proof ones. These were like $5 a pair, and I get 3 pairs in case like my friends come with me or whatever. So have some gloves handy dandy. And then I keep a bottle of water in my backpack because I always get thirsty. Sometimes I'll bring a snack, but I really don't like eating here. That's just personally. And then secondly, like I start seeing more cars pull up and I'm like, oh my gosh, gotta go. Like that fear of missing out, right? That somebody's gonna get the stuff. Just remember, not everybody's here for the same thing as you. So don't freak out. So yeah, all right, let me go in and we're gonna start this. Hopefully I can find some cool stuff. Oh, one more thing, masks. I remember before the pandemic, I would see people with masks on and I'm like, I don't know if I'd do that. I mean, I know there would be all kinds of stuff getting, you know, you come out of there and you feel like you got the gunk because you're like, what was all in there? Now I'm like, it's the norm. So now I'm like, definitely going to wear a mask in there because every time I would go to the bins before, looking at the wrong area, sorry, before the pandemic, I would always come out with all kinds of crud up my nose, you know, like in my sinus. It's disgusting. So yeah, mask it up. So I'm having to voice over this part because the music was kind of loud in there, and so I wasn't sure you'd be able to hear me. So my first tip inside the store is if you're short like me, find some tongs. I actually have a pair of tongs that I got at the bins that I keep in the back of my van that I use to reach things in the back of the bins because I am very short and I can't reach. Next tip is know the deals, whether this is at your bins or at whatever thrift store you're at. Know what kind of deals they've got, because at mine the glass items are 20 items for $1.99, so that's one. And then the books I believe are 5 for $1. So knowing like what the prices are and what kind of things you can get for a really good deal can help drive like your direction, because I definitely try to maximize the glassware that I get there because I can get it so cheap. I can really, you know, stock up for just a couple bucks and really be able to maximize on my profits in that way. Some of the things I see here, I don't know what they are. So this is going to be a little bit of a dig and tips as we go along. And as we go, if you have other tips, let us know in the comments. Another thing I will say is that I try to flip through books. I didn't do it right there, but I have found cash in like inside books. So, you know, flipping through the pages, now it can be time consuming if there's a ton of books like so. But money can definitely be found in books and clothes, in wallets and purses. They just get thrown in there, and there's definitely money to be found as well. I have found money in the bins before, so there you go. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, and I think I was saying, you know, if you've got more tips, you know, especially if you pick up other things, you might have tips that I wouldn't be thinking about. So leave those in the comments section, and y'all check out those comments because there's usually really good advice and other ideas going on down there. Look under stuff for sure. I didn't make a graphic for that one, but definitely look under stuff. Sometimes it gets overwhelming and I don't dig as much as I probably should, but there's pretty cool stuff to be found. I definitely, not this trip, but the trip before, I found a bracelet from looking underneath something, and it already sold. So this is a glass item, but check for damage because, I mean, he's still pretty cute, his arms are rusty. He's got quite a bit of damage. So to me, it's like, it doesn't matter that he's 10 cents. What matters is, am I going to be able to sell him? I don't want to tote this thing home and have him take up room in my office and then I can't sell him, right? So definitely check for damage while you're there. See if things are working and have the pieces that they need. Another thing I didn't make a graphic for, I'm looking at this decanter, and it has got this residue inside. So, and it's not, I thought, well, maybe it's supposed to be frosted. I don't think so. It's got this, it had this strange residue, and I was like, So knowing how you're going to clean something if you get it, and it's not in pristine condition from the bins, know how you're going to repair it or clean it before you get it. I mean, unless it's amazing, then. But like for that decanter, I'm like, I don't really want to. I don't know how I'd clean the inside of that. It probably isn't. It's probably an easy way to do it, but I don't think I was up for it. Plus the lid wasn't there. I could have hunted for the lid. So here's another deal. Like, this in my bins could be considered glass. This next one. Hunting for missing pieces. I found this awesome puzzle box, and it was missing one of the sections. So I started digging around in the bins nearby, and I found it. So definitely, if you find something awesome, like this really cool puzzle box, it won't fit because all the pieces are hand done. So I had to shuffle around the pieces to fit on the correct sides. But it was worth the dig. It's actually still, it's still in my, quote, death pile because I haven't brought it in. The stuff from this trip is still sitting on the table in my garage. But I had a little box to put the pieces in. Let's see what else we see here. But I was saying, what was I saying? Oh gosh, welcome to my channel. Sometimes I forget. Oh well. If it was important, I wouldn't have forgotten to say it, right? Alright, so this is I love selling holiday stuff year round, but he's in pretty poor condition and he's missing pieces. So I do not get him, but I give him a little look over. It's pretty cool. Vintage Christmas. I see those Birkenstocks there, but they are in really bad shape. Do you guys sell, like, would you sell those? I mean, I guess there's somebody that would maybe buy them. But you see, I clearly am like, is it? No, I don't think I'm going to do it. So I don't. Let's see what else we've got going on here. So frames, like, I wouldn't probably buy some of these frames that I'm picking up at a regular Goodwill. I wouldn't pay a couple bucks for them. But if I'm trying to reach my 20 items, then I will put frames in there. So because at my Goodwill, if you buy 3 glass pieces, it's $1.99. If you buy 20 glass pieces, it's $1.99. So I want to try to maximize that $1.99 as much as I can. So like I say, I probably wouldn't buy those frames if I were just at a regular Goodwill for $1, $2, $3, whatever. But for 10 cents to meet my maximization goal, then for sure I would do it. So I did. I ended up buying a number of frames at this trip to the bins. This was a cool bowl. I don't think it was originally, tell me what you think. I didn't think it was originally lacquered like that. I've seen bowls like that, but they don't have that shininess, but I could be wrong. It didn't look right to me. So digging around, there's a lot of digging involved. If you haven't been to the bins before, and I know before I went, I was really scared. I heard all kinds of horror stories and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And it was a bit of a culture shock. But once I got, that batik might have been kind of cool to get now that I look at it. But once I got into it, definitely good. Okay, so this little cat plays, what was it, Frere Jacques, or I think, and it's just a little wind-up cat. So I was on the fence about it, so I definitely put it in my cart so that I can research it later. And I don't end up getting it. The music box part was too tight, and so I didn't have a way to fix it. Look at those heels. Ha-cha-cha. And it wasn't selling for that much anyway. So also it's like, it doesn't matter how much of a deal it is if it's not going to sell. So really not worth picking up if it's not even going to sell. I liked this metal basket, and I was trying to justify getting it for myself, but I did not. Because I don't need it. It's too easy to become a hoarder in a job like ours. I don't need it. I do find stuff for myself in the bins all the time, though. You just never know. It's the total treasure hunt, for sure. There's a Corel plate. Yep. I couldn't decide. Like, I don't know. If there had been more of them, maybe I would have gotten it. Yeah, Corel. I have the white, just white, straight white Corel plates at home. I was like, nah. This board was broken. I thought it was pretty cool, but when I looked at it closer, the deck on the bottom was cracked. It was cracked. So, you never know what you're going to what you're going to find. That actually might not have been a bad pickup because it was like weighed next to nothing. So it might have, just been a pretty easy thing to get and photograph and list and ship and all that stuff. So here's another music box that I don't end up getting. But I was like, well, I really like selling music boxes. This one ended up having damage on it too, so that's another reason I didn't get it. There are some shoes here that I know I'm going to pick up, but apparently I'm looking around. Oh, I'm still looking at this. That's what's going on there. Trying to think about it. Yeah. When in doubt, put it in your cart and sit down and look it up when you get a chance. So, in a minute I do start going through because I have overflown my cart in a minute. All right, so the next tip I have is the bins is a great place to step out of your comfort zone. I don't normally sell shoes and clothes and things like that, but when I can get things for pretty cheap, of course I'm going to go look it up, but when I can get something for really inexpensive, like those shoes would probably cost $7 or $8 at the regular Goodwill. So I could get them really cheap here and step out of my comfort zone and learn something new without, dipping too deep into my pocket to do so. Isn't this picture glorious? I don't end up getting it, but isn't it fantastic? It's like homemade Pegasus and the lightning storm. It's so dramatic. But no, it didn't. I was trying to justify it. I was like, I know I can sell this. Oh, there's another Corel plate. I probably could have sold it too, but it was so cheesy. You just needed like Fabio with like the wind blowing in his hair. Look at this jog. Oh my, I was brokenhearted that it was broken. This is one of those things where I had to decide, would this sell broken? I was devastated because isn't he fantastic? Look at him. There are things that, with a certain amount of damage could still sell. I feel like, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like maybe there was some way he could have been salvaged, even just his face, like, or something. His face was so fantastic. Then, looking through here, what else have we got? I like it when they're really, really full like this, just randoms. See, if I found the rest of those, I would have gotten them, but I didn't. And I considered getting that foam head because I sell hats, but I usually just do flat lay with most of my stuff. I've tried using mannequins and other things for taking pictures, but I end up preferring just flat lay anyway. So my sister made me promise that if I saw salt lamps, I would pick them up. So that's what's going on there. Thrift for your family too. All right, so this I pick up and I set back down, and I'm so glad I go back to it because it turns out to be sterling silver. So I'm looking around and I find another one, and so I do end up coming back and picking it up because I didn't look at it super closely initially. So yeah, the tip I'm going to give on that one is there are real treasures to be found in the bins. And this goes back to what I was saying about not everybody's looking for the same thing. You see people in there and they're just looking at clothes, or they're just looking for like bikes and all the big stuff that they can put in their shops. But then there's people in there like me who are looking for the cool, the unique, vintage, like just different type of stuff. So everybody's looking for something else. I mean, some guys come in there and they're just digging for Lego. They'll sit there for hours picking little bits of Lego off the bottom because that's money in the bank. I was seeing if that was Le Creuset, so nope. So anyway, I'm covering it up, but I do go back and get it. The candlestick, I find another one, and I wanted to, there it is. Okay, so I'm like, wait a minute, let's get both of those. My kid, we were at the bins, and, my kids know kind of what to look for somewhat, And one of my kids found a sterling silver and like turquoise. It was like a mosaic with like turquoise and spiny oyster shell and onyx mosaic. It was a money clip that we found in the bins. My kid found it and we sold it for 75 bucks. I think if you've been on my channel for a while, you've heard this story before. And yes, I took a finder's fee for it, and because I did all the work of like photographing it and listing it and shipping it and this and that. I don't know if I took 5 or 10% or something like that. I took a bit of the finder's fee, but then my kid ended up getting like 60, 65 bucks for it. So totally treasures to be found for sure in there. And I've heard of people finding silver, like silverware in the bin. So definitely look out for that too. Let's see what we've got next. The next, I feel like I should have looked at that shirt too. It looks pretty wild. Is it a shirt or a skirt? Look at it. I don't know clothes. This is the thing. I don't know much about clothes. So if I see wild stuff like that, I'm like, wow, what is this? Must be Italian. Then I see a note to self coming up, so I know there's something coming. That's just a lid on a box. Betsy Johnson bag. It's kind of in rough shape, and I don't really, looks like a marble. No, okay. So yeah, I find this Christmas ornament. So when you see things like this, look around and see if there are multiples, because I can sell a lot, and these in a lot. So as I go along, I'm going to keep looking for more of the same thing. Now, if it's like, those cheapy glass, Christmas balls and things like that, depending on what it is, I wouldn't go for that. But yeah, definitely if you see something cool that looks like there could be multiples of it, it's a lot easier to list. Even if you were going to list one and do, yeah, I opened the fortune cookie. I was like, fortune cookie? Nobody's going to eat that. Don't shame me for opening a fortune cookie in the bins. Nobody was going to eat it, and there's all kinds of garbage in there anyway. So I didn't feel bad. Okay, I kind of felt bad because it's not like me. Let's address the elephant in the room. Margaret opened a fortune cookie in the bins. Yes. So then I go and sit, and I have a basket for things I'm going to put back in the bin, things I'm going to take with me. Look at how full my basket is. So here's where I was taking pictures. Like, I had to take a picture because I don't have my cheaters on. So I have to take a picture with my phone to see the mark so I could look it up. And so I looked it up, and I found some that were selling for a really good profit. Let's see if it pops up. So this is the sterling. Yeah, see the pair down there, 75 bucks, sold in April. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed these tips for shopping the bins. Go over there and find me on Instagram. I'm Texas Gal Treasures on Instagram and on Facebook. And then if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel because you'll enjoy it. And I'll enjoy having you. And I can't wait to talk to you later. See you then. Bye.